Hello there, and welcome back to another review. In this week's review, we're looking at Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age. So, I have previous with this game. I did play Final Fantasy XII when it originally came out on the PS2 20 years ago. Yes, it's been that long. Well, nearly 20 years. I think it came out 2006. So we're getting there. It's nearly 20 years. I basically put 50 hours into this game. I got like halfway through the game. Went to work one night. Came home, was told not to kill my brother. Turns out he deleted my save data, which was fun. And then I never went back and played it again. Until now. So, yeah, I did a poll on Twitter basically asking what game I should play next. It was Final Fantasy XII, Grandia, or Golden Sun. Final Fantasy XII won with like 50% of the vote, so I decided to go back and play Final Fantasy XII. This is the last of the mainline Final Fantasy games, other than the two MMOs that I hadn't actually ever finished. So, with this, I have now played and finished all of the mainline Final Fantasy games, which is pretty cool. But yeah, Final Fantasy XII. So, story-wise, it's much of nothing. Like, there's not really a lot going on with the story. It's kind of like you've attacked our country, we're gonna fight back, and then that's kind of it. None of the characters really stick out. They don't really have much in the way of character development. There's not even much in the way of like story beats or anything like that. There's like a couple of cutscenes like when you go into an area, and then that's kind of like it. It's very, very different from any other Final Fantasy game story-wise. Having said that, I had an interaction with the content creator on Twitter where they said to them it was more that Rabanasta, the main city, was like the main character, and I can see that. I can see like the thought process behind that, because it tends to be that because none of the characters stick out, a lot of the plot is centered around the city of Rabanasta. And like you kind of get the first few story beats are all like kind of getting a feel for the city, and you always go back, and like the end game plot is like trying to destroy Rabanasta as like the main city of Damaska. So yeah, I can see Rabanasta being like the main character of the story rather than it being like Vaughn or Bosch or Balthier or Ash or any of the other ones. But yeah, for me personally, there was really something really missing from the story, and given that most Final Fantasy games, like the story's like the main thing, you play a Final Fantasy game for the story, like it's that part is really lacking to me. Gameplay wise, however, I really enjoyed the battle system. The battle system that they had for Final Fantasy XII is really good. It follows a gambit system, and the gambit system allows you to set each character up in a unique way depending on what you need them to do. So you can have it so that it's just really basic, where the computer will make the other characters attack whatever the party leader's attacking. Or once you get to, if an ally gets to like less than 50% HP, you'll cast Cure on them. And you can really build on that and have like different combos of stuff going. Like by the end, when I was doing like the end game bosses, I have like Bosch continuously casting Wither on an enemy and then like exposed to lower their attack and defense, whilst Vaughn was casting Protect and Bravery, and Ash was casting Shell and Faith on everyone. So you can really sort of build on that, and then like, oh, if this character's like got stone status, then use stoner on them, or use a golden needle item, or like, oh, like if we get to like 30% HP, use an X potion, that sort of stuff. So it really, you can really get some good combos going, to make it so that even like the hardest of hard bosses like can't kill you off, which is really really cool system. And then like the license board as well is like quite a unique way of doing things. I know the original version, like I just had one big license board, and then like the Zodiac Age added the various different zodiac signs so you can have like different jobs and stuff, which was the original Japanese release. So you can have it set up so that one character's like a white mage, one character's a black mage, one character's a red mage. You can have like a knight and all that sort of stuff. And then you can build on that with a second job. So it's like, oh, I want a white mage and a black mage. So you've got white magic, black magic. Or I had a knight and a shikari. A shikari uses katanas. No, Bushi. Bushi uses katanas. So it's like you've got a knight with normal swords, great swords, that sort of stuff, and then you've got katanas as well. So you can really build, like, have decent character builds, and it gives the game a lot of replayability as well. So you can go back and replay the game and go, right, I'm only going to do it with white mages, which would be insane. But yeah, and then generally, like, there are side quests and stuff that you can do in the game, but they don't really reward you with much. And then there's like a loot system where you sell off certain pieces of loot. The bazaar will give you like rarer things to buy. So you can sell off like there's various different gems that you can sell off, like Virgo gems, that sort of stuff, like astrology gems, or what other loot was there? There was like various liquids that you could get off slimes, all that sort of stuff. But you can like trade them all in, and it will give you like, oh, here's like a parcel that you can buy with like 50 Phoenix Downs in, which will be cheaper than buying 50 Phoenix Downs from the shop. Or it'll give you equipment like the platinum sword and platinum helmet, or stuff like that. And it'll give you like really cheaply. So it's always worth fighting the different monsters in areas for that. And then there's the hunts as well, which I'll get onto in a bit. Music-wise, there wasn't anything really that stood out. Usually in the Final Fantasy game, there's like a couple of pieces of music that's like, oh yeah, like I vibe with this, like it's really, there wasn't really any of that from what I remembered. It's kind of like just background noise, which it's okay, but you don't really hear anyone talking about the music of Final Fantasy 12. Let's put it that way. So yeah, and then as I mentioned before with like the replayability and stuff, not only can you go back and do it with various different jobs once you finish the game, you get New Game Plus, which apparently is an easy mode, and then makes all your characters like level 90 as well. And then if you do the trial mode, which is only with the Zodiac Age, you get New Game Minus, which stops all your characters from leveling up as well if you want that extra bit of I've forgotten the word. Extra difficulty to the game. Challenge, that's it. That's the word I was looking for. If you want that extra challenge, you can have like all your characters not level up and stuff like that. So, yeah, let's talk about the achievements. So, the achievements for Final Fantasy XII. Obviously, some of these are going to be just your general story-related ones, like this first one for the Homeland. Face the Arcadian Empire as initiate in the Order of the Knights of Damaska. That's the tutorial section. Defeat your first mark. So one of the first things you do is go off and do like a mark as kind of like more tutorial stuff. Like, no, this is how you do the mark system and that sort of stuff. Successfully stole 50 times. Steel is a technique that you can get. You get it like start of the game. Varn starts off with it. You just need to steal 50 times off 50 different enemies. So easy enough. You set a gambit up, so it's like if you attack something, you're just gonna steal. Use the attack 300 times. You're gonna attack stuff like that's. You're gonna get that regardless, as long as you're playing a little bit. Used techniques 100 times, as I said. Steal is a technique. If you stole 50 times, you're already halfway there. You might as well steal another 50 times. Escape from Nalbina Dungeons is a story beat. You end up getting captured and in the Nalbina Dungeons, and yeah, you escape. Bit of 50 chain in battle. So one of the things that you can do in the game is if you fight the same monster over and over again, it will build up a chain, and then as the chain's building up, it increases the drop rate of items and stuff. So you can go from getting like 1 potion to, once it gets to silver, getting 2 potions, and then once it gets to a certain point, it will then give you like little gold medals, and then there's big gold medals, so you can get like 4 of whatever the special thing it drops, maybe like liquids and stuff. There's flans in the picture. So yeah, that's 50 chain. It's fairly easy to do in certain spots, and there's in the Yensa Sansei, the first area, not the Nam Yensa, I think it's Oga Yensa potentially, or Oba, I can't remember. Begins with no. There's like loads of little like humanoid creatures that you can fight, and there's just like, they're just everywhere. Like you can easily get 50 there. Rescued the Princess of Damaska. Ash is the Princess of Damaska. She's the person that you're basically like helping throughout the game to reclaim her land. Defeat 500 foes, self-explanatory. Cast magics 200 times. If you've got Cure set up on a gambit, you will eventually get that anyway. So yeah, 50,000 steps. I think I ended up doing something like 900,000 steps, so it was well past that by the time I'd finished the game. Obtain the Dawn Shard is a story beat. It's a special piece of magicite that does the opposite of magicite. It drains magic. Acquired 100,000 gil. You get that from selling stuff. So you sell pieces of loot, which is the next achievement. You build up your gil. She gets to 100,000. You're good. Pardon me. Set out for Mount Bur Amisas. That was where I originally got to in Final Fantasy XII when I originally got the game. It was the mountain. Yeah, it's like partway through the game. Obtained 500,000 clan points. I think I ended up something like close to 5 million. So you're kind of going to get that. You get it from doing hunts and stuff. So if you're going to do the hunts, then you're going to get the clan points. Face Dr. Cid. It turns out Dr. Cid is Balthair's father. I mean, there's a Cid in every single Final Fantasy game, going back to, I think 2's the first one that he's in. So yeah, Cid. Hi Cid. It's a story beat. Performed every concurrence. So the concurrences, you get mischarges for battle. You can learn different quickenings on the license board. Once you learn these quickenings, you get different mischarges. So you can 1, 2, 3. If you've got all 3 quickenings on your license board, you can have 3 mischarges. Doing certain combinations of these will give you a concurrence at the end of a quickening chain. So once you cast a quickening, you then get 5 seconds to cast another one throughout all of your party members. When you use various different levels, it uses up various different levels of mischarges, and there are 8 different concurrences, 1 for each element. You have to get them all. The hardest one to get is Black Hole. Black Hole requires you to have 4 level 1 quickenings, 4 level 2 quickenings, and 4 level 3 quickenings. So you need to get 12 chain anyway, and you get gradually less and less time each time you like do a quickening. You get mischarges as well, which replenish your mischarges, and then you can carry on casting. So yeah, it's weird. The majority of them, apart from Black Hole, I got all of them really easily. I think Black Hole I only ever got twice. Yeah, 48,000 license points. If you're gonna level up in the game, you're gonna get license points anyway. So yeah, 48,000 is basically it more than enough covers both license pods that you can get. There is items in the games as well that give you double license points. So yeah, defeat the trickster. So this is the start of like the hunt achievements. Specific hunts give you achievements for defeating the various monsters. Yeah, that's defeating the trickster. Obtain the morbid urn. There's certain hunts that you do which will give you items, and then you sell those items off, and the morbid urn is a bizarre item that you can buy. Spent 1 million gil. If you're going to buy items and weapons and armor and stuff, you're eventually going to get that anyway. So raise the party's average level above 50. So yeah, it's just getting your average level to 50. It's not particularly difficult, as long as you can either have all 6 characters at 50, or you can have like various different. As long as all 6 characters levels add up to 300, then you're gonna get your average level up to 50, easy enough. That is another hunt. Death Gaze. Ultimate is one of the espers. Throughout the game, you will get espers that you can unlock to summon. Ultimate is the second strongest one that you can get. Learn every magic. Throughout the game, there's treasure chests in all the dungeons and stuff. Occasionally, you will come across ones that have magic in. You can also buy magic. So yeah, learn all the magic. Learn every technique. Same again with techniques as magics. Zodiac you can only obtain after you've gained 10 of the other espers. So you get 10 espers. You go and talk to some guy. He'll let you into a secret area in the hen mines, and then you can go and find and defeat Zodiac, which ties into obtain every esper. I got every other esper up to that point, and then went and defeated Zodiac. Zodiac is the 13th esper. Fafnir is a hunt. Carrot is a hunt. Gilgamesh is a hunt. Gilgamesh obviously is a recurring character in the game. He appears in a few Final Fantasies. Occasionally they don't put him in, but he pops back up every so often. So, Behemoth King. Fully explored every map. To do this, some of the maps will have like the area will be grayed out until you actually go and explore that area. So you have to kind of make everything nice and bright rather than being dull grey. You can also pick up urns which unlock all of the map and that sort of stuff. So yeah. Defeat the Hellworm is a boss. You have to do like a little side quest before you can go and fight the Hellworm. Complete the bestiary. This was a pain. There's so many rare monsters that only appear when like you go into an area where you've got 10% HP, or only be there between certain times on the minute. So there was one that was like only appeared in a certain area between when the minutes was on 10 to 20. There was ones that were like anywhere from 30 to 0. Like, just an absolute pain for the rare marks. And then there's obviously, like, there's bosses for side quests. And then there's this thing, Easy Map. Once you complete the other 44 hunts, you then get to do the 45th hunt for defeating Izamat. Izamat has 50 million HP. It took 30 minutes to defeat Izamat at, it's either 3 or 4 times speed. I'm not entirely sure how. I believe it's 3 times speed. If you were doing this game originally, it would have taken hours and hours and hours because the game is so slow. Doing it, as I said, at triple speed, it still took half an hour. It probably would have taken like an hour and a half to do it at single speed, or 2 hours-ish. It's crazy. Restore Peace to Evilise, that is the end of the story. Game completed. As I said, like, previously, like, the story's not brilliant. It's probably, like, the second weakest game that I played for Final Fantasy. It's definitely not up there with any of the real good ones, but I'll get into that in a sec. And trial mode. So, as I mentioned previously, there is a trial mode that you can do for the Zodiac Age. It's basically going back through and fighting various different monsters and stuff, and then bosses. You have to fight Izamat again, but he's like doesn't have 50 million HP this time. It's a lot less. You can actually get the Izamat. Well, we'll get back to that. And we'll edit that out. You can actually get to you can get the Izamat achievement from the trial mode, and he's a lot easier to kill in trial mode if you're struggling, but I don't think you would get the bestiary achievement. I didn't try it. I didn't want to try it. So, there were a couple of trials that I struggled with. The main one, though, was the last trial. That took... So it took about 40 minutes to do the other 99 levels. The 100th trial took nearly 2 hours to do. It's you fight off against the 5 judges again all at once, and they're all super strong, and they do all sorts of different nonsense, and it's just, yeah. The key to doing the 100th trial is taking out Judge Geese first. He uses status effects, and unless you've got ribbons on everyone, which then means you've not got bubble, he's just going to keep casting statuses, and some of them are like confused, which means your own guys are attacking you and stuff like that. And it's just, as soon as I managed to take him out first, I managed to complete the rest of it. There are various different bits where it tries to stop you from actually managing to complete it. Certain characters will use elixirs on other characters, so it stops you from killing them, which is an absolute pain. But there's various different ways to get around that. So you take out Geese first, and then I forget who you take out next. The third character is Dolce. I think her name is Dolce. You cast disease on her and it stops him from healing her. Really easy. You take her out then. And then the next one, to take out Gabranth, you need to continually cast sleep on Zargabrath. So you continually cast sleep on him with one of the characters whilst the other two characters are wailing away on Gabranth. And then you can take out Targabranth. So there's like there is a set strategy for defeating the judges. It's just getting rid of that first judge, Judge Geese. Get rid of him, you're fine. But yeah, that's the entire 100% for Final Fantasy XII. As I said, as a Final Fantasy fan, I don't rate this very highly. I enjoyed the story in my Final Fantasy games just as much as I enjoyed the gameplay and stuff like that. The gameplay is really good. But it tends to be in most Final Fantasy games, I tend to enjoy the gameplay. The fact that the story is so bad, though, kind of just puts it way, way down for me. It's probably, I would probably say this is the second worst Final Fantasy game that I've played and finished. Do I regret finishing it? Absolutely not. I think I've worked out I've probably got maybe 5 or 6 Final Fantasy games left to do on the Xbox 360, on the Xbox consoles. Final Fantasy 6, 13, 15, 15 Pocket Edition, King's Quest. I think that's it. Final Fantasy wise, 200%. So yeah, I'll do those in bits, here, there, and everywhere. I will eventually do a Let's Play for Final Fantasy 13, because I've done like Let's Plays on the channel now for most of the Final Fantasy games as well. I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for Pixel Remasters. I've done Crisis Core. I've done 7 Original. I've done 7 Remake. I've done 7 Rebirth. I've done 8, 9, 10, and 10-2. Have I done 10-2? I don't think I've done 10-2. I've done 10, not 10-2. So I'll have to do 10-2 at some point. I've now obviously got 12. I think the way that the schedule works, the 12 Let's Play will go up like April, May. 12, and then obviously the 13 series. I'm not doing Lightning Returns. I will not play that game again. I'd do 13 and 13 too, no problem. 13 I will have to 100%. So I'll likely do that whilst I'm doing the Let's Play for it. Eventually. And then, yeah, there's 15. And then the Pocket Edition and stuff like that. 15 is mostly, I think the only thing I need to do on 15 is defeat the Animantoys for the base game, and then it's all like DLC stuff. Obviously, you can't do the Comrades multiplayer anymore. Why they added multiplayer to a Final Fantasy game, I have no idea. But yeah, I am now rambling. So, as always, if you did enjoy this review / ramble, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys. Might be another review. Who knows? It might also be a game collection video. I might swap them around so we can get through all the game collection stuff as well. So yeah, subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.